right, we are in. We are a little behind our schedule, but good thing we're not doing this live, huh?
No, but we're happy to be here. Thank you for listening today. I'm Dan.
Hey, and I'm SamMeeBee.
And we're Gem City Sports.
Woo! Yeah, we nailed it.
I gotta not bang the table here.
As you can see, we're both wearing Rams jerseys. So
Guilty
I know
charge.
today is July 29th, the middle of baseball season. But hey, we want to talk football. All right. Actually, let's talk about some baseball while we're still here, huh?
The season that keeps
trade
on giving.
deadline coming up. I know you're a Giants fan. What are you feeling about them?
I think that we could use starting pitching. We just lost a 3-2 heartbreaker. I thought it was a bummer. To the Red Sox last night. Justin Turner continues to haunt the San Francisco Giants from no matter what team he plays for. I think we need a starting pitcher, and if we could add another bat, I think the Giants hopefully could at least make a push to be competitive throughout the year, but I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs or not. It's a tall task.
Yeah, I'm a betting fan, and I was looking at the odds, Thursday, Friday, because today's Saturday, like I said, July 29th. And
yep.
What's interesting is that the Giants, only a couple games behind, are plus 1,000 to win the division. Before I get your opinion on that, the Guardians are 2 games behind, or about plus 240. Houston, 2 games, plus 115. And same with Cincinnati. So they're all like small, but why are the Giants plus 1,000 behind the Dodgers?
I think you just hit the nail on the head. I think it's because of the Dodgers, who just added, if I'm not mistaken, Joe Kelly and Lance Lynn, which I think the Giants were trying to get Joe Kelly, so maybe the Dodgers kind of did a little preemptive move to get in the way of the Giants from getting their man, so to speak. But regardless, yeah, it's going to be a tall task to beat I think we're 4 games behind, so it's not impossible. A lot of baseball left, but if you're a betting man, you're probably better off just putting money on the Dodgers to win the division than you are putting it on the Giants. But hey, if you're feeling risky, if you're feeling lucky, bet on the Giants. I'm rooting for them.
Man, I love it. We're a few days away from the trade deadline, so I think our next video will be talking MLB trades. Recap
Sure.
it. Looks like Ohtani's staying.
I think he is.
I wish the Angels make the playoffs. Mike Trout, I know he's hurt, but Ohtani, Trout, come on, that's a great duo.
It would just be cool to see. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm an Angels fan because that's obviously not true, but it would be cool to see Trout and Ohtani in the playoffs. But it's also disappointing, and I don't know if we want to hammer on this too long. It's disappointing to a certain extent. There was a lot of hype that Showtime was going to be traded. That was exciting. Now it looks like he's going to stay put, which I don't find that to be as exciting as if he's traded. But hey, if the Angels make a push, that'll be good for baseball.
Oh,
so
yeah,
we'll see.
Hey, one more thing on baseball. I'm loving this Acuna having a great season. He's
Ronald.
I'm going for the 40-40. I sprinkled a few dollars on him to hit 40-40. As of last night, 49 stolen bases, so he's got the 40 and 23 homers. Do you think he can get to 40-40?
So he's already got 49 stolen bases?
Yep, and he just needs...
So he needs 17 home runs between now and the end of season?
Yeah.
I would say he's definitely going to, if he stays healthy, which I guess that's a given for any player, I'm saying double-digit home runs, no problem. Is he going to hit 20? I know he can, but that's a tall task.
I like trivia.
I like the bet, though. Sure.
I like trivia. I'm gonna grill you a lot. So it's only been done 4 times before. Can you name any of the 4 players that have done 40-40?
Barry Bonds had 30-30. I don't think he's done 40-40. Did Trout ever do 40-40?
Nope. Most recent was 2006. I looked it up, so you're not even gonna know that
person.
person.
Who was 06?
You're not gonna know Alfonso Soriano with Washington Nationals.
But
you were right. Barry Bonds was 40-40.
Did he do 40? Yeah. I didn't know. Okay, with the Pirates.
Nope.
With the Giants. So, okay.
First, it was Canseco with the A's in '88. Bonds with the Giants in '96.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think he was the first 500 too, which is pretty incredible. It might be the only one on that. A-Rod with Seattle in '98. Alfonso Soriano with the Nationals in 2006.
Wow.
So,
okay.
Yeah, not an easy list. So if you like trivia, go ahead, grill your friends on that.
Yeah, that's an illustrious group of men.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, like I said, before we start off in the morning, or starting off this podcast, well, first off, thanks for watching. As you can see, we're new here. Come on, clear the desk. We got a big mess here. Is that your can? What are you drinking?
No, that's not. I think that must have been somebody that helped us.
Yeah, we're borrowing the studio at the moment, so that's why it's a little cluttered. But hey, we're growing. Episode 1. Excited to see where it takes us. So
absolutely.
Football. How many days away are we?
Less than 50? About 50 days.
Anyway, so we're gonna look over the over/under win totals. We're not really a betting show, but I'm a betting man, so I like talking some of these. I already locked in a couple bets, so
okay.
I'm going to talk NFC. You're going to do AFC. We'll go division by division, and hopefully you agree with me. And I'll let you talk first. Let's start with the AFC North. Let's start there.
Yeah, pull up your list. All right.
So you got Baltimore Ravens, 10.5.
So what are these over-unders from? Do we want to plug the website? Not a sponsor.
No, I mean, they're all kind of, this is a consensus. I went to a website that the consensus picks, so most of these are the same.
Okay.
Again, I pulled these July 28th, July 29th, so it might be moving, especially as injuries come up.
Right.
But as of right now, how are you feeling for these?
A lot of players getting carted off the field and then come to find that they'll be back during the regular season. Jalen Ramsey, Joe Burrow. I read Deontay Johnson may have gotten carted off. C.J. Gardner-Johnson for the Lions. I just share that to say it's been an interesting training camp, and hopefully these guys are going to be okay in the long term of the season. Obviously, I'm a Rams fan. I got the Rams jersey, but you don't want to see players get hurt. I mean, it doesn't help the league. But that being said, we can focus on the AFC North for right this second. We'll get into it. Baltimore at 10.5, Cincinnati Bengals at 10.5, Cleveland Browns at 9.5, and the Steelers at 8.5. I'm going to feel comfortable taking the over on the Steelers. We talked about this in our test episode. They've never had a losing season. With a 17-game season, that tells me that the Steelers are at least going. They have to have 9 wins, right? So they can. So they go 9 and 8. Yeah, I would take the Steelers on the over.
I think one year they've tied a couple times. So there's been a couple of times they didn't get past 8 wins. But.
Yeah. So I would take Steelers on the over. They're going to keep having winning seasons with Mike Tomlin. Ravens are tricky. With Joe Burrow potentially missing, they said he's going to be out for several weeks, so I don't know what that means. I would probably take the under on 10.5 wins. I think the Bengals are more of a 9-10 wins team. It's hard for me to see them winning 11. Ravens, same thing. I don't know if I see the Ravens winning 11 and the Browns. So the only over I'm taking here is the Steelers. That's me. The Browns at 9.5, I'm taking the under. I would like to see the Browns just because I feel sorry for them do something, but it's just the Browns. I don't feel good about it at all. I don't care what talent they have. Until I see them actually have consistent success, I just can't get behind this bandwagon.
No, I said I know you're doing the AFC, but I kind of went through myself, and I agree with you. And honestly, you said I have 2 bets replaced. One of them is the Bengals. I just personally don't believe in Joe Burrow. This is before his injury, too. I took under 10.5 wins, and that was plus money, plus 120. So,
okay.
With the Burrow news, I don't know if the odds have changed. I can see that dropping, but I don't know. I just don't believe in the Bengals.
Well, and I heard it on the radio. I was listening to Maggie and Perloff. I don't listen to them every day, but just sometimes you're driving home from work or whatever, you hear what you hear. And they, from what I understand, just to give them credit for the argument, he's going to miss several weeks. What does that mean? 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 months? We have no idea. So I would take the under. I believe in Joe Burrow's talent, but I think it's a tough division. I could see the Bengals winning 9 or 10, not 11. That's just.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right. Well, we'll just kick over to the NFC. So I got the NFC North here, and I'm gonna start with we'll go alphabetical order. Chicago Bears 7.5. Yeah, I'm not seeing that. Justin Fields, I like him, but that's a tough task. Detroit Lions. I know they're heavily favored to win the division. 9.5 is their total. I did like a season simulator twice. I picked my own bets, but one time I had them over, one time I had them under. And this is a tough one for me. Of all the picks I had, it's one of the toughest ones. I actually going under. I kind of rate at 9. I can't see him getting double-digit wins. I mean, 9 might be fine. 9 is a lot. 9 gets you in the playoffs, but 10 or more, I can't. Packers 7.5. I took the under, and this is just my personal pick. I kind of see the Packers being that team this year where most of the games are one-score games, so it could be a quick flip. I feel they're going to run the clock out, low-scoring offense, good defense. They're just going to, I think, grind them out games so they can be the Tigers of the Lions of the past. We're just losing those one game. So because I'm taking all these unders, Minnesota 8.5. I'm loving this team. I am so over on this team. I've got them. I would almost take an alternate at 10 plus, but I don't know. That's why I'm loving we're doing this now in July, so we can look back at it and see where we're right. I guess the only key injury so far is Burrow. Well, the rest of these picks, it'll be fun to see. So yeah, I got the Vikings win that division over 8.5, but the other 3 got them going under. So
I think what I'm going to say mathematically doesn't make sense because I don't think you can take the over on all these teams because they play each other. Mm-hmm. But looking at it, I would feel comfortable taking the over on all 4 of these NFC North teams.
Really?
I would. 7.5 for the Bears, 9.5 for the Lions. Was it 7.5 for Green Bay?
Yeah.
And then 8.5 for the Vikings? Yeah, I'm not a betting man, but I would feel comfortable taking the over on every one of those and thinking that I'm going to at least hit the over on 3 out of 4.
Oh, yeah, and my plan, and I think you probably agree with me, those little office polls where you pick who's going to win each game and the Monday night. Yeah, we're doing that. So
Okay.
I need you guys to come up with a little challenge, a little prize for the winner, or a punishment for the loser to be determined. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be fun watching these games week by week. So I'll give you a breakdown. But let's keep it moving, Next, we got the AFC East.
I'm going to take the over on the Bills. I think if Von Miller's back and healthy, Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen, this is an 11-12 win team. Yeah, I'll go with it. I'm going to take the over on the Bills. A lot of things can go wrong. It's football, but we got to take a stand somewhere. I'm going to go over on the Bills at 10.5. Miami Dolphins at 9.5. Man, that's a tough bet. I almost feel like 9.5 is the right number. Like I could see this team winning 9 or 10 games with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. I know Jalen Ramsey got carted off, but he'll be back in December. As long as Mike McDaniels can keep that offense going, I'm not too worried about the defensive side of the ball for Miami. And maybe I'm going to look foolish for saying that. You know what? I'm going to take the over for Miami. I'm going to take the under for New England at 6.5. Oh man, 6.5.
Yeah, these guys know what they're doing.
Is Bill Belichick really not going to win at least 7 games this year? My goodness, even with Mac Jones, whew, that's tough. Yeah, I'll take the over at 6.5. And same thing with the New York Jets. I'll probably take the under. I think that's a 9-win team. I think that's a wild card team. I think the Jets are going to do some damage, but I don't think they're going to win the division with Miami and the Bills. But I definitely could see the Jets having 9 wins, getting into the playoffs, and maybe making some noise. I believe Garrett Wilson sprained his ankle, so we'll see how long that keeps him out. But, I mean, I'm sure Aaron Rodgers is there. The pay cut that he took, and I don't know if it's converted into money like later on, but I guess he took this $30 million pay cut, and I can't help but wonder, kind of a little off topic, but I can't help but wonder if the Rams approached Matthew Stafford with something like this. With
there
all
was
the
speculations about that, and he denied it.
Right, and I just can't
to get off topic, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I've been thinking about that. Maybe the deal that Rodgers took with the Jets is something that the Rams kind of offer, because they're saying that they offered to renegotiate the deal. Stafford said no. I wonder if it was something similar to what the Jets just did with Rodgers, and for whatever reason, Rodgers said, yeah, I guess he's not going to miss the $30 million.
Yeah, the New York Packers, right? Because they brought a few other Cobb. They're bringing people
Lazard,
over.
yeah, you're right. The New York Packers.
New York Packers. I mean, I ran my own simulations, and I'm not going to talk about all the teams because you're covering AFC, but I actually took the under on the Dolphins. I think it's a tough division. Everything else I agree with. Like, to win games, someone's got to lose. So.
Yep.
So we'll go on over to the NFC East. This is a fun one here.
This is a fun division.
Yeah,
I think it's easy to pick the division winner, but I'll hear what you have
to
say.
Oh yeah, we'll start with that then. Eagles, 11.5. That's a high number, but I ran my simulations twice. I got them going over both times.
So I would hammer that over. Yep.
I am not a Cowboys fan. Spoiler alert. We'll dabble in things we like and don't like. We might have a favorite team, as you can see, the LA former St. Louis Rams.
Oh.
So I don't like the Cowboys. I say that right now on episode 1. But you know what? 10.5 is a lot. I actually have them going over. I know that double digits is a lot.
For the you see them winning 11 games, at least.
I said, because I personally went through my own simulations. This other one, the Giants, 7.5. I mean, what's Saquon going to do? Is he going to stay healthy? That's a lot going on with the contract. But I actually took the over in the Giants, 7.5. I think I can see him getting at least 8. I mean, it's a 17-game schedule. The guy just get 8.
I hate to be rude. I don't believe in Daniel Jones, but I would take the over.
Danny Dimes.
I would take the over. And I hate to be rude. I know I'm not saying he doesn't belong in the NFL. I'm just saying I wouldn't want him as my franchise quarterback. And I know that's mean. He's a harder worker than I'll ever be. But goodness, I don't buy what happened last year, but I would take the over at 7.5. I think they're going to be an 8-win team.
Like I said, I think with me, it was I use one of those websites where I'm like, all right, who's going to win each game? And then looking at the matchups, I think it was because of the matchups they had. Some of the teams, I can see us. And the Commanders, 6.5. This number keeps dropping. I think it was 7.5. So I'm taking the under.
At 6.5?
Yeah, because I want to talk about it later on about the quarterback battles. This is one of those teams, So it's like Sam Howell, is he going to win? What's going on? Franchises hopefully was a mess, and they got new owners, so we'll see. But 6.5. I'm taking the under.
I was listening to Rich Eisen this week, and I think you'll get a kick out of this. He was kind of pumping The Commanders. He said they're going to do.
Really?
I believe he said they're going to do better than people think. Ron Rivera's won Coach of the Year once or twice. I think twice. He said, and so I don't want to misquote the man Rich Eisen, but I will say I thought it was interesting. I'm probably taking the under on the Commanders, and I'll throw out there if somehow Washington wins 8 games. I don't think we should all be too terribly surprised. They've got Terry McLaurin. They've got that rookie last year, Dotson, who was a touchdown machine. Jonah Dotson, I think his name was. I'm sorry if I'm getting it wrong. And they have a couple running backs, including Antonio Gibson, if I'm not mistaken. And so I don't know. Maybe if Sam Howell can make the right reads, and they got Chase Young on defense. I mean,
I love that defense.
You
they
know,
still have that Sweat guy.
Yeah, I think and the defense played so poorly last year. I think this team might surprise some people, but 6.5. Yeah, I don't think you're wrong.
It was tough. Like I said, but my toughest one was the Lions. So I want to
Sure.
But let's keep on moving. AFC South here. Fun.
I'm going Jacksonville to win this division. I think we talked about that last
love it.
episode.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even think that's hard to say. Tennessee could get something going with Hopkins, Tannehill, and Henry. Sure, I like those big three. Why not? But I'm going Jacksonville. T. Lawrence at 9.5. I'm going to take the over. Tennessee Titans at 7.5. I'll take the over. Houston Texans at 6.5. I'll tell you what, I'm going to take the over on that. I think that they're actually going to be an exciting team. Robert Woods, who's with the Texans right now, compared them to the 2017 Rams.
Did he?
When he first got to LA with McVay, he said he feels a similar vibe where this team's hungry. They've got the players. They just need the coaching and they need the play calling, and I think he's buying in. So I'm going to take the over at 6.5 for Houston, but I'm going to take the under on the Colts at 6.5. I think Anthony Richardson's going to be exciting. I think Jonathan Taylor's a great running back, but I think it's going to take a year or two for this. Anthony Richardson's pretty raw, is what they tell me. So I take the under on. I think they're going to be a 6-win team.
Houston, new coach. I don't know what to expect, honestly. I mean, I want to see him succeed. That's a tough one, but I'm loving Jacksonville going over. I think we have a great season.
Yeah, I think 11 or 12 wins for Jacksonville.
I have more inputs on this division, but actually, I want to talk about quarterback battles, and that's usually where my talk is. So, but I did not hear about Robert Woods talking about that. I mean, who's on their defense besides that rookie they just drafted?
And you know what? Shame on me. I don't know if I can name you a single. J.J. Watt? Is he still? I kid.
I'm just saying to compare it to the Rams, where they had players, stars on both sides of the ball. I'm like, what? I'm sorry, Robert. You know, one of my favorite nicknames is Bobby Trees. Yeah, Bobby Trees over there.
He's feeling it. He's feeling himself. He's feeling the Texans. I mean,
so he says, put your house on the Texans. That's plus money, plus 110.
I like the over. I could see Houston sneaking in 7 wins here. Maybe they sweep the Colts. You know, that's
Spoiler
2 wins
alert.
right there.
I got the under.
Love it. All right.
And the NFC South here. This is an interesting one. So another team I'm not really a big fan on, the New Orleans Saints. But after running my numbers, I have them winning the division and going over 9.5 wins. I think when I ran my numbers, I had them going 5-1 in the division. You know, almost probably 6-0, because you have Atlanta 8.5. I got the under. Carolina 7.5. Got the under. Tampa 6.5. That's the lowest in this division. I got the under. So if all three go under, they got to go over the Saints. Plain simple. I'm not a Saints fan. New quarterback with Carr. Not sure he's going to fit in this scheme, but I don't know. I'm just not feeling these other teams.
I don't really believe in Derek Carr. I'm not a Derek Carr truther. I will say, looking at, and again, I think we talked about this in our test episode, when you look at it, you got Desmond Ridder, Bryce Young, and then some combination of Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask. So it is, I mean, far and away, New Orleans, I would say, has the most steady, most proven quarterback at an NFL level. I would also say, and this is kind of the backtracking to Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and Shaquille Barrett, and I think Vita Vea is still on the team, and that's just to name a few. A lot of these guys won a Super Bowl a couple years ago with Tom Brady. I'm not saying that Kyle Trask or Baker Mayfield are Tom Brady. Hot take, they're not. But I will say I don't think they have to do that much to help this team win 8 or 9 games and maybe, I don't know about make the playoffs, but be in the hunt as the season comes to a close. I could see this team being around. I could see them giving fits to other teams as long as Baker or Kyle can kind of come in and somewhat stabilize the position. But to your point, I think New Orleans, I can't disagree with anything you're saying.
I mean, I love that take because, Mike Evans, who's put up numbers
He's a
year
stud.
after year. So it's like
He's a
they
stud.
have the talent, but sometimes even if it's just if the quarterback's not good, you need to get them the ball.
Look at the Jets last year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm big
Yeah.
on. I'm not gonna lie. I'm big on the Jets this year. I think Aaron Rodgers is a key piece. They need some like they
Yep.
had the talents. Or when Stafford got hurt, I know Cup was down, but I'm like that team was done for with the Rams last year.
They
So,
were.
I mean, Baker, can he do it? I like Baker. Hope he does good.
Sure.
I would love to see him go over 6.5. Actually, the whole team, but I can't see it. And with the Saints, Michael Thomas. I know he's injury prone, but
yep.
when he's playing, that dude's great.
If you
Oh,
can
man.
factor in, no, I'm so glad you bring that up, Sammy B, because if you factor in Michael Thomas, Chris Olave with Alvin Kamara, and I know Kamara's suspended for, I think, about 6 games because of that assault that happened in Vegas a couple years ago. Not cool. But either way, I mean, just from a pure football perspective, I mean, a healthy Michael Thomas with Chris Olave and Alvin Kamara, who might be fresh coming off the suspension, that's a pretty nice three-piece as far as skill position players go. So I agree, yeah.
Yeah, I've drove by the Superdome once. That thing is huge.
Yeah.
All right, now we're going to the last divisions here. We got the AFC West. This is a fun one, Dan. Let's hear it.
I've never been near the Superdome. Just back. That's actually really cool. I would like to. That would
I
be a
went to the
trip.
Smoothie Arena
That's
basketball
cool.
right next to it. It was a fun time.
All right, that's cool.
NOLA, down in the NOLA.
So,
all right, man, we
is
got
this the AFC West? Is
now
this
we're done
where
the
we're
last
at?
one, yeah. Because the never eat slimy worms. Is that how you were taught it?
No,
How would you know your compass? Never north, east, southwest.
I don't know. I guess I just because west. I know that west and then east because and then north is up and south is down.
Okay,
I don't know.
I was kind of thinking. It's like it might be a regional thing. I don't
Yeah.
know how. I was always taught never eat slimy worms.
I bet somebody told me that, but it didn't stick. I'm sure I've heard.
Then
I'm
I've
sure.
heard like other people like never eat something. Like there's different
Salty
I want to hear what
saltines.
you guys knew. I was slimy worms. So. And
Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, and I know where I live, the lake is north. So I'm like, where is north? I just find the lake. And when I leave my hometown, I'm lost.
Fair.
Lost Gardner. Okay, a little off topic, but
Lost
here we go.
Gardner. Speaking of Gardner Minshew, I believe he is the backup quarterback
For the Colts.
the Colts. Never mind. This has nothing to do with this
Yeah.
division. Sorry about that. Total misfire. All right, then we'll just get to it. Sean Payton's comments about Nathaniel Hackett and the New York Jets this week. Have you heard these
Is
comments?
Hackett still? Wait, Hackett was a former coach, right?
Hackett was the head coach of the Broncos last year. He went to the New York Jets. So this week, Sean Payton blasted Nathaniel Hackett and his coaching staff as saying, like, what they allowed to happen in Denver is, like, disgusting. It's some of the worst coaching he's seen, which I think is alluding to him trying to correct a lot of discipline issues, like with the team, trying to get them to pay attention to the right things. I mean, he just kind of totally threw haymaker after haymaker at Nathaniel Hackett and even said the Jets are going to find out that they're in for a bad time because they hired this guy. And the Jets and Broncos, is from what I'm understanding, they play each other this year. So that should make for an exciting headline material. All that being said, the Broncos are at 8.5. I'm going to take the under. I don't think Russell's cooked. I think that this is a tough division. I think the Chiefs and the Chargers are better than the Broncos. I don't think the Broncos are going to – I mean, if they win 9 games, they win 9 games. But at 8.5, I would feel comfortable taking the under. And I think for the Raiders at 6.5, I would take the over. And then the Chiefs at 11.5, that is tough because they could go 11-6 and still win this division. I'm going to take the over. It's Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to take the over. He's the dude. He is the best quarterback in the NFL, I think. And then the Chargers at 9.5. I'm going to take the under. I could see them going 9-8, making the playoffs. There's just something about the Chargers. I think they have all the talent in the world, but they just let you down.
I'm glad you ended on that team because I honestly don't. I'm not buying the Chargers this year. I have them going 6 wins.
Really?
Get out of LA, man.
6 wins with Justin Herbert and Austin Eckler.
Who?
Keenan Allen. They got Khalil
the
Mack on
players.
the other side. Yeah, the Chargers going to charge or.
No comment. I don't believe in them. I think Russ can cook. I actually took the over at the Broncos.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Hey, what do I know?
I just wanted to point out that I am not buying the Chargers this year. You heard it here. You heard it here
I
first,
like the
folks.
Chargers.
I can't even say that. What the heck? Oh, man. All right. Well, now I'll kick it over to our team.
Drum roll.
Woo! Bang. Okay. Alphabetical order, starting with the Arizona Cardinals. This number keeps dropping. It's now at 4.5. Was it 5.5?
They are the worst team in the NFL this year.
My hot take, I see them going winless. They are underdogs in every team. So I told you I put up money on the Bengals under. The other team I picked, I took 4.5 and I dropped it to 3.5. And I took the under 3.5 at plus 150. So that's my other bet. I actually had the Cardinals going under 3.5, not even 4.5. I'm dropping it down to 3.5.
I hate to be so gleeful about a team that I think looks terrible, but they're in our division. I'm a Rams fan. I wish these guys personally all the best, but professionally, I want to see their team do terrible.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. So, yeah, it's funny to me. I think they're the worst team in the NFL this year. Yeah. I don't even think it's close.
Seattle, so I know I mentioned the Lions had a tough time with. This one, too, 9.5, because 9's a lot. I could definitely see them getting 9. One of my test runs, I think 10, 11. Another one I had them at 8. So they're right in the middle. This is a tough one, but I'm going to go ahead because they play Arizona twice. And, again, look at their schedule. Not too tough. I'm taking the over 9.5. I think we talked about this offline of, like, if they start off hot in San Francisco, still trying to find another quarterback, Seattle could take this division.
I think, and I misspoke last time we talked because I said Seattle won the division last year, but the 49ers won the division. But Seattle did make the playoffs. I agree with your takes. I'm probably taking the under. I think if the Rams can beat Seattle in week 1, they're going to derail the whole season for Seattle.
Yeah.
I'm saying hot take. Yep.
Yep. All right. So then San Francisco, 10.5. Now this one, I hate San Francisco.
I know.
But I'm going to take the over. I mean, Christian McCaffrey, I don't think Deebo Samuel was as involved last year as he was the past couple seasons. I think now that they have an offseason to work with McCaffrey, Deebo, kind of get them all on the same page, George Kittle, all that. I mean, they got a good team. And it's funny. It's kind of how we talked about the Saints, or no, the Buccaneers, where they have all the talent. The quarterback, it's like, well, who is the 49ers quarterback? And Purdy have a sophomore slump. He's going to keep it going. But
I believe in Purdy. I do. I thought I saw enough last year that he's going to help you. With that team where they can lean on McCaffrey, and they can, I believe that team, I think you're right. I think you're right to take the over. I think they're going to roll with Brock Purdy. As long as Brock Purdy's healthy, I think the sky's the limit for this team.
Purdy, we trust. All right, now let's end it with our team here in Los Angeles Rams.
Todd Gurley, boys and girls.
Got the classic Cooper Cup 18. I know
Very cool.
I know I looked at the schedule. It's 6.5. I hate to admit it. I'm taking the over.
I would too. Yeah, I mean, I think we're probably more betting with our hearts than our brains here, but I would take the over. I think that with Sean McVay, Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp, and Matthew Stafford, and that's all everybody's been saying all offseason, but those are 3 proven veterans in the NFL. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that this team can find a way to win 7 games. They play the AFC. What are they? The South is. Which one's the Colts? Is that the AFC South?
I thought they play the Steelers division because they host Pittsburgh. And
they play the Colts. I believe
because they play Cincinnati week 3 Monday night.
Okay.
So they play
I know they play the Colts, which should be a winnable game.
Yeah, because of the added game. That's the added game, but they play the NFC North.
Okay.
And that's the thing, like week 3. So I'm without pulling up the schedule, I think they go San Fran, Seattle, or in Seattle, San Fran, Bengals. So they can start off 0-3. And it was tough for me, but I'm like, all right, I can see them being Arizona twice. I can see them winning at home against Seattle. They always play them tough. That's 3 wins. So you just got to win 4 more games. That's all it is. Easy money. I
mean, you got to go with what you know. I'm sure. I'll take the over. I'm rooting for the Rams. Sure.
I mean, so I don't know. I know he said over under. I don't know if every team, if he listed the number, so I'll have to go back and keep track of that, see how we do at the end of the season. Because again, today's July 29th, so this is an early picks. I think as we get closer to the season, we'll do division winners, maybe rookie of the year, stuff like that. So we prepared for the winners, but I want to talk about quarterback battles if you're fine with that.
Okay, sure.
So there's a few teams. I kind of went in order from like kind of not really exciting to most exciting. So we'll start with Washington. They got Jacoby Brissett, longtime journeyman, and Sam Howell. Who do you think wins?
They're all in, as far as I know, unless they're lying to the media, which sure, they're all in on Sam Howell. We know what Jacoby Brissett is. He belongs in the NFL, but I don't think there's that much excitement there. What's exciting about Sam Howell is I don't know much about him. Apparently, he would have, if from what I understood, he kind of fell in the draft. He would have been drafted higher if it wasn't for the quarterback class of last year, which I don't know how true that is. That's just what I think I've heard. So, Sam Howell. Yeah.
Yeah, and kind of same thing I had with Atlanta Falcons. They have Taylor Heineke and Desmond Ridder. Early indications and everything says Ridder has the job. It's his to lose. So.
I think that makes total sense. What was he, a first or second round draft pick? They drafted him to be the future.
From Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. Yeah. I like Taylor Heineke. I think he belongs. Same thing that I just said about Brissett. I think he belongs in the NFL. I think he can win you football games. But if you want to see, you got to see what you have in Desmond Ridder. And I don't think last year was fair to him. You got to give a quarterback, I think, at least 2 or 3 years to kind of find their footing in the NFL.
I'll admit I haven't been paying attention to these early talks. I'm still watching baseball, so I didn't even know that Sam Howell is his job to lose, kind of.
I believe it is, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Because now it makes you question this next one, Carolina Panthers. We got Andy Dalton, longtime quarterback here, and Bryce Young.
Frank Wright said Bryce Young is going to be the starter this year. Okay. So apparently that's done, but as you know, the NFL can surprise us. But I think, respectfully to Andy Dalton, who can win you playoff games, I'll say this. In the right situation, I don't love saying this, but I think Andy Dalton is the type of quarterback that can win playoff games in the right situation, carry you through a season, and maybe even ultimately help you hoist a Lombardi. Like, he's a great quarterback to have on your roster, but I also think that Andy Dalton's past his prime, and he is more of a professional backup at this point, a Josh McCown type, if you will. So you got to see what you have in Bryce Young. But if they got to go to Andy Dalton, it's not the worst backup to have. In fact, I think he's probably one of the better backups in the NFL.
Yeah, I can't tell you all the backups, but that's definitely a good one. I agree with it. Number one pick, you got to start at number one pick.
Yep.
So
he's exciting.
San Fran, you got Sam Darnold, Trey Lance, Brock Purdy. It seemed like you're leading Purdy.
I am. I wrote an article this week because I talked about on Turf Show Times how apparently Kyle Shanahan thought about signing Phillip Rivers when Brock Purdy got hurt in the champion.
Yeah.
He apparently, which this blows my mind, while he's calling the NFC Championship game, it crossed his mind that they might have to find a quarterback off the street with Brock Purdy being hurt. And Phillip Rivers, I guess, came through his mind because reportedly Phillip Rivers contacted the Dolphins and the 49ers and was like, hey, I would be willing to play quarterback for you guys.
My family out there.
Reportedly. Now, I don't know that that's true. That's just kind of what I've read on the internet, so do your own research there. But where I'm going with this is in my article, and I believe there were a couple changes, and that's okay. But kind of what I wanted to drive home is that the 49ers plan is Brock Purdy. Trey Lance, he's not going to be what they drafted him to be. Sam Darnold, I think he's fine. I think he's a great backup for them. But they are all in on Brock Purdy, and if I'm wrong, I'll eat my words. I think he's plan A, he's plan B, and I think until they find somebody else, Brock Purdy is the long-term future at quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of players that have good rookie years sometimes have a sophomore slump.
Yep,
so.
I'm hoping he does.
Oh, I'm hoping so, too.
Yeah.
I know I said I hated the Cowboys, so I got to share that hate with the Niners.
He did not play the Rams last year.
Really?
No. As I
recall, about to go 0-2. There we go. Rams over.
We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, what are the Rams 0-10 in their last however many tries in the regular season against the Niners? Yeah. Obviously not playoffs. We know who's got that one, but that's right, Niners fans. Eat that championship game.
Didn't you say Andrew Whitworth wrote an article about the Niners would?
He had some quotes kind of saying the Niners would trade all that regular season success to win that NFC Championship game, and I agree.
I mean, that's how I feel about the Rams. They kind of sold out to win the Super Bowl, and I love it.
Me too.
I love it. I stuck through all those bad years, 1-15, 2-14, and it was worth it.
Agreed 100%. They've built a lot of good faith with that Super Bowl win.
All right, we got 3 more teams left. The funny thing about these, they're all in the same division, the AFC South. Texans, you got Davis Mills, the starter the last couple of years, and the rookie C.J. Stroud. My opinion, new coach, got to start with a new young guy.
Got to go with C.J. Stroud.
Tennessee, we'll just fight through these ones. Will Levis, Tannehill, Malik. I mean, Malik, I think they're sold. They're done with him.
He might get traded. Yeah. Even cut in a couple of years. It's Ryan Tannehill's job to lose, right?
Yeah, because they have Hopkins. You need a veteran quarterback to give him the ball. So this one, I think I might differ from you. Indianapolis Colts.
You are.
I mean, Sam. Is it Eilinger?
Yeah, Ellinger. Yeah.
Gardner Minshew and Anthony Richardson.
I think if I'm saying it wrong, I apologize, Mr. Sam.
Yeah. Yeah, come correct us. He walks like a cowboy. That's not my favorite thing about him.
Fair enough. I don't know much about him. I know that they brought him in last year. That the Colts were so bad last year. I don't mean to laugh, but I just remember that was a bad situation because they should have a good offensive line with Quentin Nelson and everything. Like that should be a solid.
I was sold on. I was
too.
For my fun pick last year. I had Rams Colts Super Bowl.
Oh no,
I was way wrong.
Not at all.
So whatever I picked this year, I don't know. So yeah, who do you think then? Who do you think's
Anthony Richardson.
Okay.
I see you have Gardner. I like Gardner Minshew mania. I'm here for it. That's you got to give it to Anthony Richardson.
The reason why I took Gardner week 1 Jacksonville
revenge game.
Well, I mean, but then week 2 is Houston, so it's like, hey, rookie versus rookie. So I get that thing. But this is what sold me on it. You know who the new coach is down in Indianapolis?
No.
It was a former offensive coordinator for the Eagles. And who played for the Eagles last year?
Gardner Minshew. That's right. I can't remember
I
his.
think he knows the playbook, and I feel like Anthony Richardson is the future. I think he has tremendous upside. I saw that video of him just throwing deep bombs, missiles, but I think he should sit a few weeks. I'm saying he's gonna start probably before the midseason, but I think Gardner should start first couple games.
And they have Jim Irsay, who is respectfully a bit hands-on, maybe even borderline meddler as far as he might tell the staff what to do. If he wants Gardner Minshew starting, they're going to have to go with it. I mean, all right, you haven't convinced me. I still think it's Anthony Richardson week 1, but you could be right, and I would not want to bet you on this because you could be 1,000% right.
Thanks. Well, I mean, it'd be fun to watch. I mean, like I said, we're super early, and that's why I'm saying I can't wait for preseason to play out, and then we're gonna start putting our picks because I don't think the win totals really move. I mean, I feel like division winners might move. Man, hard to say.
I think by September, and this would be more of a Rams-centric episode, but I do think we should go game by game for the Rams and kind of do our predictions game by game, maybe even do a score. But that wouldn't be till September because, to your point, we'll be through preseason. We'll have an idea who's injured, who's not, what these rosters look like.
No, I definitely think next episode, I think we should go through each, maybe a short clip just each week because, I mean, we're a sports podcast, but we're here for fun. So
we're here for fun, baby. And you can be a sponsor. Anybody out there is more than welcome to sponsor us. Just let us know. We're always looking for active, good causes to support and shout out.
Heck yeah. So, I mean, what an episode. Episode 1 in the books.
Book it.
I know you mentioned Turf Show Time, so you want to plug that for you?
Yeah.
Actually, I don't even think we said our names at the beginning. Whoops.
I thought we said Dan, because I said Dan. Oh, it doesn't matter.
That's all right. Screw it, we're doing live. I'm SamMeeBee.
And this was Gem City Sports. Check out Turf Show Times. Danny Stone.